Why, hello everybody, this is Classic Homesteading Practices, and today I'm going to be doing a reaction and review and teaching moment, basically, of this video. This is the YouTube video posted by Sweet Life of Zack and Kristi. This is talking about quail and the beginning to the end of the process of them raising them, building a place for them to live, and then eventually putting them in there. And the reason why I want to do this is because there is not enough quail info on YouTube. There is not enough videos like this, in my opinion. As a person who has raised quail, I am incredibly excited to see a long format version of a beginning to end on quail. I believe there should be more people interested in quail, growing quail. They are a wonderful, if not spooky breed, unfortunately, because they are game bird. So they're easy to spook, but they are a cute, a very quiet version of chickens. And their eggs are really cute and tiny and fun, and you can still eat them. They taste absolutely the same as chicken eggs. They're just, the third the size. But let's get into this. This is really exciting. I cannot wait to start talking about this video. Let's go.
Decide down for 12 to 24 hours to let them settle. We've done that. Now verify.
There we go.
Yesterday we got our chickens, our baby chicks. That same day we went out, checked the mail on our porch, and we received 30 eggs that we ordered that we weren't expecting for months. So we ordered 25 quail eggs from a website called My Shire Farms. I've seen a couple other YouTubers recommend them. Now that your eggs have arrived, we suggest you unpack.
So this is very important to know. A lot of places will do live quail. However, it can be incredibly expensive, and they are always in large sizes. So usually the smallest that I've found is 30 quail, and it can be in the range of over $100 for the entire lot. A lot of other places, commercial, and even small businesses like Murray McMurray will do 100 per batch of quail in all types. So 25 eggs is really good. I was talking about live quail. However, they decided to go the incubation route. Going the incubation route is incredibly nice because you get to choose how many eggs that you can get, where it be a pack of 10, 25, 30, up to 100, and the cost is it's so much less. It's staggeringly less, thank goodness.
Pack the eggs and place them pointy side down for 12 to 24 hours to let them settle. We've done that. Now verify the temperature and humidity of your incubator. The temperature.
So something to also recognize is this foam piece that all the eggs are in. This is something to just keep the eggs safe during transit because they are so tiny. You will also see in a minute these yellow cages that are that were shown in the very beginning. That is an accessory that you put in an incubator specifically for quail because they are such tiny eggs that they need that new attachment, which is not sold with your incubator, in order to fit properly. Because I imagine it's going to be a egg turner that they're going to be using. That's why they have them as well. And it's a lot safer. It's less likely to have the eggs crack. And turning the eggs specifically is important just to make sure that the yolk doesn't get stuck, which means that the chick itself inside the egg, when it's forming, doesn't get stuck to the side of the egg wall. Anyway,
Should be set to 99.5 degrees plus or minus 0.5 degrees. We have our incubator set up. We bought it on Amazon. Your humidity should be between 40 to 50 degrees. We highly recommend that you have one extra temp gauge and humidity gauge to ensure your incubator is reading correctly. Don't worry, this is the easy part. Place them in your incubator pointy side down. Incubator has an automatic turner, but it says that you're gonna need to turn them at least 3 times a day. Ours turns them every 2 hours. So day 1 is the day we put them in there. So day 1 is today, and then days 1 through 14 is the incubation period.
Now, I'm just going to say this for new quail owners or for people who have never incubated quail before. If you don't have something like this, that's fine. And don't worry if you are unable to get them pointy side down. In the wild, mothers don't keep their eggs pointy side down. You're possibly going to have some chicks not come out all the way, or it'll just be harder for them to come out of the shell when it's time to pip and to crack it open. However, it's not such a big difference to truly worry about. If you can get an automatic egg turner like this, that's really nice. But of course, if you have a smaller incubator, you just pop it open a couple of times a day. Run your hand through it a couple of times to make sure that the eggs turn very gently. And pop the lid back on and make sure your humidity is well. For some incubators, you will not have a temperature and a hydration gauge, humidity gauge on the outside. So getting an inexpensive, like $15 temp and humidity gauge, putting it in the inside saves you so much money and time.
Day 15, which means it's time. It's time. Take your eggs out of the turner, lay them down with a little space in between each one. The big part, increase your humidity to 65 to 70 degrees. Within the next 3 days, you should start seeing some wiggling. Once they hatch, we suggest letting them dry for 24 hours before placing them in the brooder. I know it's tempting to but let them dry and don't open the incubator. Last step, put them in the brooder and have fun.
Wet like that.
You're a quail parent. Congrats.
Congratulations. It's so cute. That's right. They did do a live for this. It was like a 3 to 5 day long live of them just pointing the camera at the incubator while a quail woke up. It was crazy. But see that ring? It almost looks like a can opener. Opened up the top of that shell. That is from the milk tooth or the chipping tooth that most birds have. Basically, it helps them peck at the shell from the inside to take the entire head of the shell off wherever they're at and crack themselves open. And you'll see the top bust like that when you set, of course, the egg pointy side down. So that's why they did it. It's a little bit easier for them to just pop the top off. Getting dry like this is incredibly important. It helps them regulate and stay warm. And the nice thing is that they have enough nutrition in their body during this time to last them the first couple of days. So when they talk about not letting them out of the incubator for a couple of days, it's mainly to keep them warm, to keep the other eggs from drying up, and just making sure there's viability for as many as possible. Oh boy. Yeah. So this situation that we're in can happen for many reasons. Sometimes the quail just has weak legs coming out. Sometimes the floor's too slippery in the quail incubator.
Yeah, that's true.
On his legs to keep him together so he could heal his legs.
Yes.
Okay.
We're just doing what we can.
Yeah, so basically they're putting vet
Make
tape
it a little closer together. So his little legs are.
to connect the legs, and this will help stabilize him and keep his legs underneath his body so he can actually strengthen himself. Ooh, he's doing the little stressy yawns.
Hi, baby. Look at you.
There you go.
Look
See,
at you
immediate
talking.
results.
Look at that, guys.
That's good. Alright, let's put that.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Like maybe dip him in the water so he at least knows what it is.
I don't know why I'm saying that like it's not already happened. And they also said that he was fine.
Cast. You got this.
But for new quail owners,
Fix this.
like, this can be a very stressful moment. But as long as you know you have the information, like, you know what to do. It is such a breath of fresh air. You got breathing room when you have information. Oh goodness, they're so tiny. Which is something to also talk about. With them being this tiny, you need the feeders and the waters to be a bit smaller. Or if you reuse your chicken waters, make sure to put like a smaller grit or gravel on the bottom so they don't accidentally drown themselves. Also, quail food is a lot smaller on purpose. You do not need to get grit for them.
The sum of each row or column in the 4x4
ads.
grid is always equal.
But it can be helpful. Ooh. Okay, so they're doing a triangle frame for this. Nice. This is usually for quail tractors. Quail tractors are, moving structures. Oh boy. We love a happy dog. Oh, they look so much more confident now that they've gotten that first build under their belt.
It ain't easy like that. It ain't easy, baby. It ain't easy being cheesy.
So something to mention, Zack and Kristi are incredibly new to this hobby farming game. And they just put up their first structure, which was their chicken coop all by themselves, without help, without schematics, for the first time a month or two ago, something like that. They uploaded it, the first video, I want to say 6 weeks ago. And I think everybody understands when I say the first build is the hardest because you are learning so much about carpentry at that time. And I really wish that they had used schematics to help them, some kind of blueprint, just because it's incredibly helpful to do that. It gives you a lot more understanding of structure, building, and why you have your frame the way it is. You put your door a certain way, you measure out the the boards a certain amount, usually 18 inches between each board for a wall that you're framing up, and just good solid measurements so you don't have to worry about fudging your boards up. There's a lot of reasons to have a blueprint on hand for your first build, but now that they got that over and done with, it seems like they have a bit more confidence, a bit more understanding of what they're doing. And this is also a different structure. It's an actual triangular structure instead of the 4-wall structure that they did for their chicken coop. But Zack definitely seems more at home with carpentry. And I'm very curious to see if they do a pull-style tractor quail house, or if they do a standalone quail house. I'm curious how much of this they purchased, like full priced, versus bargain shopping. That's a new word. I hate working while sick. Farms don't have sick days.
I'm your driller.
Amazing. Something to note. She has pre-drilled her holes. This is incredibly important to make sure that you do not have cracks in your wood. Cracks can lead to big damage, which means that you have to replace boards and parts of your lumber and weaken your frame and make things harder. So always pre-drill when you are putting screws in, or you're going to be mad upset. This, yeah, great pointer.
What's the rest of them? Here? It's really close. I bet I look super good.
You look great.
Sound really good. So do I.
The dynamic's really fun watching these two anyway.
What's going on
There's a
here?
knot there and it's not going to go through it.
So you just gonna
Also,
sit like that, huh?
well, you
Yeah.
I love a good mesh. Staple guns are a must. Staple guns are really important when putting mesh up because it tacks it on a lot easier. You don't really tack mesh on with screws or nails. Oh my god. Amazing. So, I don't think this is going to be a tractor style. Not unless they put a giant rope in the front to help pull it, because that's massive. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Put their support beams up, get the rest of the mesh up. It's looking good. It's so good that they have an outdoor area for these quail. Having a distinct area, like indoor-outdoor area, is pretty important. Allows them to get sunshine when they want to, but they can also hide away from the elements. Shoring up their roof also makes it better to keep the rain out. Not by much, but a little goes a long way. We love a good miter saw. Don't you be looking. Oh, that's just. Sorry guys, that's my bad. Looking away from spinning saws absolutely terrifies me. It was a totally sweet moment where he's just looking at his wife. Totally benign. It absolutely terrifies me that he's gonna lose a finger when he does that, so. It's fine though. It is fine. Just be very careful around power tools always. I like a good little accent. Okay, yep. So they're putting up boundary, hardwire cloth, keeps out pesky animals trying to eat your quail. And this ranges from raccoons, coyotes, even to birds of prey. I've seen hawks try to get through, dig their way through coops before, so having hardwire cloth, important.
We went
It's
to
very nice.
the cedar store today, where we purchased the cedar siding for the chicken coop and the cedar shake roofing for the chicken coop, and we found they had some of this, which was damaged cedar from a flooring project that they were going to be doing for a really nice luxury home, and it got damaged on the tongue and groove, and so they had it at a humongously discounted price at the cedar store, and it's like literally stunning, beautiful. So we actually have now, we're going to use this for the backside of the quail coop. It's tongue and groove, and it's beautiful, and we got it for like
Love a
dirt cheap,
bargain.
so hell yeah.
Get it done. We love a bargain. God, you love a good seal. Getting a tongue and groove on that wood. Ugh. And it's not much, but it's just one of those things that makes your heart a little bit happier. You get that perfect seal. Wouldn't you just love to have tools like that? I wish I had tools like that. I do a lot of stuff by hand. I've got a lot of hand tools.
Gonna be a damn nice coop, guys. Cooping and pooping.
What can't we stop singing?
Princess and the Frog.
Amazing.
What
Gotta
you
have fun
feel
when you
is
do
what
this.
you get. When we're human.
You guys get blessed with my
Oh
singing
my.
voice. I hope you like it.
That looks like cedar. So you're shingling it up, which is nice. And as long as that's cedar, that's gonna last them for a good 10 years easy, even if it's untreated. God, we love a good circular saw. Power tools for the win. Again, you do not need power tools. They just make the job a little bit easier. But cedar in general, here, just so I'm not fighting with the background music, cedar in general is a very long-lasting wood. It does not rot quickly. It will last and weather very well, up to and further than 20 years. So if they did this structure well and the frame itself, those 2x4 frames are treated or are also cedar, the structure can last for a good decade plus. I'm hoping so, at least. I don't know about the wire mesh. I would hope so. However, wire mesh has a tendency to rust after like 4 or 5 years. shingles are tough, man. That's not tough, it's just tedious. I'm not touching. I wonder if they have a roof cap. I'm putting on some trim. Oh. We're sawing off limbs. Putting an environment and habitat inside. Nice. This is wonderful. And you'll see why in a minute. Woohoo! All done! So the one thing that I would say is putting on a roof cap, which is a rounded off piece of rubber, shingle, wood, plastic to cap the top of that roof so no water leaks through. Would have been a nice touch. It's not necessarily needed, it protects the top and makes it a little bit more resistant to the elements so water doesn't seep in and mildew, mold, or etc., etc. However, again, because this is cedar, it is less likely to ruin quickly. And if they did treated wood again, it is less likely to ruin for a very long time. So hopefully, just little touches here and there, but really good work. Really good work.
It's done! Can you guys believe it?
Level.
It's all done. All we have to do is like landscaping around it, but it's totally secure and ready. And we're gonna bring the quail in now, and I'm very excited. I think they're gonna like it. It's a very big improvement from their teeny tiny home that they've had.
They're gonna love it.
Amazing.
She is a beauty.
Little dirt bath.
Don't worry, Woody.
Tell me I don't look like the bad guy from Toy Story.
Toy Story 3, I think.
Toy Story 2? 3?
2 or 3. I do.
Amazing.
I look like the old mean grandpa.
Zach made some little hides back here for them so they can have some areas they can go under. Put a couple pieces of wood here, the corners, because quail have this tendency when they get spooked to pop up, and we don't want them to break their necks. Little sand baths here. This will dry out.
Just a little bit of context. Popping up is a natural resistant that quail do. Basically, in the wild, it is a natural system for them to get away very quickly and very suddenly from predators or any kind of harmful thing that might be coming after them. So if they get spooked, they pop or they launch themselves up to 6 feet into the air. And this in a coop that is smaller than that can lead them to knock their heads on the walls and possibly internally decapitate themselves or just vitally injure themselves. So the rule goes, you make their space 6 inches or 6 feet. Because if it's 6 inches, which I'm totally against, just as a personal preference, but it stops them from popping up. They will immediately just shift down, and they will hunker down as quickly as they possibly can to get into a hiding space. But if you're going to do a quail enclosure, you do need to do 6 feet. So if they do get spooked for any reason, they can do their pop and then they'll go back to normal. Now, another way to make it so that they don't do that is give them a sufficient enough habitat where they're able to be in hidey holes and large brush spaces, which is why I was really excited about that large branch that you see. An evergreen branch is perfect for this kind of situation. What would be better in the future, a really cool idea, is to plant some shade-loving shrubs inside of there, because it's not going to be moving. But get some shade-loving shrubs and put them in there so they can be under there, and let them make nest and hidey holes in a natural environment that will not dry up or die. It's a lot better for the coop itself, and the birds won't make it a hazard on them in the long run. And you don't also have to worry about taking it out and changing it after a period of time. However, this right now is pretty dang awesome. Again, love the little dust bathing area that they have.
And they can take little dust baths, little hides and areas for them to feel safe.
Little
They're going to bring their
perchies.
food and water out. We're going to have a different food and watering system eventually. Nice. Cut a branch from a tree so they can hide in there if they need to.
Little puppy enclosure, outdoor enclosure. Oh my goodness. They're gonna need to get rid of that thing afterwards. Oh. Amazing.
You guys ready to go to your new home?
Little tuxedo quail. A lot of Corturnix. A lot of them.
Coming in?
Don't pop in my face.
I think all of them were brown speckled. So yeah, they don't have.
Hello, babies!
Oh, you got your stinkers.
No, I think we did have some blue egg layers in there. Usually celadons are the blue egg layers. Look them up, they're really cute. Oh!
Hey,
Run! Oh, right there. Oh my goodness.
What do you guys think?
That quail are flighty creatures and they bonk into
What do
things so
you guys
easily.
think?
But yeah, this is a really good enclosure. So if you guys heard those sweet little noises, those little chirps, that's as loud as they get. You will never have to worry about your neighbors hating them, because that's about it. And of course the male cries, but again, they aren't that loud at all. You can have a full breeding troop and not have to worry about it. Just so pretty. My goodness. But these are called, oh wait, no, these might actually be Tibetans. Celadons. The coloring on some of these make me think that they have blue egg layers. I do not remember what the whites do. I want to say that he is a celadon, but I'm not certain. Yeah, they have the brown ones, the ones that are more brown, I should say, look like Tibetan celadons, and then your cold tone browns are your Cordonux quail, which are your brown spot egg-laying quail. But yeah, so this aviary that they've made is pretty dope. It fits a lot, if not all of their quail, a lot of quail. And I think the only thing that they really need to worry about now is just making sure that their male to female ratio isn't out of hand. which is pretty easy. Once they start crowing, they'll just need to pick their favorites. The best ratio to go by, the minimum ratio to go by is 3 females for every male. You can go up to 4 to 5 if you'd like for every male. But the reason why you don't go lower than that is because females will become very stressed. You will have them trying to claw their way out and into the forest. They'll lose feathers like crazy because of plucking and scratching each other and mounting stress. And the nature of the birds will become incredibly unhappy, basically. But from the looks of it, they don't have to worry about any kind of pressure from each other for space, for bathing, for habitat, for food. It's very well set up. Those guys are living a good life. And I believe Kristi and Zack will be given a lot of eggs because of this. So, good job, guys. This was a really great project. I really appreciate if Zack or Kristi ever see this. Thank you for making a full, from hatching to, putting them in their new aviary run through of quail. I hope to see more things like this in the future from them, and more YouTubers hopefully will, find a way to do more quail stuff in general, because, as much information as possible so we can all share it and do better together. That's the goal, right? All right. Have a good one, guys. Bye.